What is going on, nigga? We back at it again. Another reaction type beat discussion video. You feel me? Frieza versus anime villains isn't close. By the boy, Lonk's takes. I love his takes. You know what I'm saying? I love these discussions type beat. He's slowly climbing the ladder type beat. Almost 100K, bro. 25K more to go. Oh God. But yeah, Frieza. I forgot who the thumbnail. I think I seen Aizen. I think is that Borrow? Who the fuck is that? Can't tell from the thumbnail. Hold on, let me see. Oh, Madara. Blackbeard. That fraud ass nigga. You know what's crazy? I haven't even started Egg Island. I still have not started Egg Island on One Piece. I don't know what the hell I'm waiting on. Cause I know when I get back into One Piece, I'm gonna just binge that shit until I'm caught up and I'm gonna be upset. So that's why I'm not watching it. Cause I think I'm on the part after Wano, after Zoro cut that shit. Oh my God, beautiful. That's why he's my nigga, bro. But yeah, I think that was the last episode I seen type shit. But yeah, and I know they had some cool fights. I know. I ain't watching, but I know. I heard about them, and I can't wait to see them bitches. But yeah, Blackbeard, man, that fraud ass nigga, bro. I think hold up. I think he fights somebody too. Was it Law? I think I heard about that. I think he fights Law. He better show out, bro. Nigga, you got 2 devil fruits, bro. If you a sorry ass nigga with 2 devil fruits, 2 strong ass devil fruits at that. Man, pull that Emperor card, bro. Pull that Emperor card, bro, from that nigga, bro. On me. But anyway, hit the video up the like, man. Comment down below and subscribe. We're to 3K. Subscribe, man. Before you go on Patreon, Twitch, and the gamer channel, link in the description down below. Subscribe to Lonks, man. Get bro to 100,000 type beat. You deserve it. He putting in work. W discussions. But anyway, without further ado, a dive on the.
One of the biggest make or break points of any anime is the quality of its villains. Thankfully, a majority of the most popular anime series of today have not only produced fantastic baddies, but made villains so compelling they sometimes even exceed the main character in popularity. With that popularity and notoriety usually comes one other thing: power. Villains naturally need to be some of the strongest characters in the story, usually wielding unrivaled strength until they are eventually surpassed by the protagonist. So today, I'll be putting the most iconic Dragon Ball villain, Frieza, up against some of the most legendary bad guys from other popular series. Can the modern anime villain defeat Frieza? If they can.
Oh, okay, he does fight. Okay, Blackbeard.
Frieza, or does Frieza solo every other anime villain? Let's find out. Now, usually this is the part of the video where I tell you to like and subscribe, but today I'd actually like to hype the video. It's this new feature that essentially helps you guys, the viewers, support small channels like mine. So I'd love to see if you guys can hype this video and see what happens.
Nigga, am I blind? What the fuck is hype? Nigga, I didn't even see that here. What? The fuck is hype? Nigga, am I blind, nigga? Hold on. That's AI? Yeah, that gotta be AI. Download clip. Nigga, am I retarded? I gotta be retarded. I don't know. Maybe I ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it though. What the hell? Hype? I mean, probably just for mobile. Yeah, it's probably for mobile. Never mind. Okay. Never mind.
That's all. Let's jump right in. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the series. If you for some reason care about spoilers, just skip to the sections marked by the timestamps. Now, as Frieza is the one running the gauntlet, let's cover his scaling, which, as he is still a present-day threat, at least in the manga continuity of Dragon Ball Super, is one of the longest-spanning scales for any Dragon Ball character. Thankfully, Frieza, at least in Z, is one of the most straightforward characters to scale, simply because he has some of the most well-recorded power levels and the most blatant feat out of any Dragon Ball villain in the original manga, besides maybe Boo. Starting with Frieza in his first and most suppressed form, he's already pretty consistently surpassing the entire planetary tier altogether. With the power,
you know what's crazy? That was impressive but you didn't even kept up with this nigga in his first form. You know what I'm saying? That was impressive. Cause that's that nigga power level. So you know that nigga Vegeta got way stronger, bro. After that fight with the Ginyu Force.
530,000, he is nearly 30 times stronger than Saiyan Saga Vegeta, who is
Crazy.
already a casual planet buster in his own right, and over 1,000 times stronger than Piccolo, who could casually erase the moon. From these feats alone, depending on the continuity due to the difference in explosion size, Frieza can already arguably be well into the star-busting tier of power, while at his absolute weakest. This is backed up and made really consistent by his own feats in the form during the destruction of Planet Vegeta. This single scene is probably one of the most recreated events in all of Dragon Ball.
Dead ass
version, the retcon version in Dragon Ball Super Broly, and multiple different versions recreated in video game cutscenes like Xenoverse, Kakarot, and Ultimate Tenkaichi. Regardless, due to the unique composition of Planet Vegeta and the size of the explosion, at worst, this feat comes out to dwarf star level. And given the far weaker characters could make explosions of the same size, this is probably an ultra casual feat from the Galactic Emperor.
You laughing at, man.
Two forms,
laughing at his dead ops, bro.
Actually mostly irrelevant. Second form Frieza is just twice as strong as his first form, as his power level sits at vaguely over 1 million, just further increasing the gap between himself and what came before. Third form Frieza is even more vague, with no outright statements about his power level. All we know is that he's obviously stronger than before. Neither of these guys stick around for long as we reach final form Frieza. Now, most of the time, Frieza at his peak sits around a power level of 6 million, being an absolute gargantuan jump in power.
One of the greatest fades in anime history, ball. Damn, ball. This is still the longest fight too. At 4 some freaking hours. I don't know if an anime surpassed that. I'm trying to think of a fight that even come close to that. But nah, not lie. I take that back. No, because I shouldn't even think about that shit. Because nowadays anime fights, hell nah, niggas got that TikTok brain and shit like that, bro. Fights like this will probably never happen again. You know what I mean? Oh man. And low key, probably the second longest probably was in Dragon Ball Z again, probably with the other villains probably. Anyway.
However, given time to power up, Frieza can double that and reach his true 100% power of 120 million, which is the second highest power level ever quantifiably recorded in all of Dragon Ball Z. At the bare minimum, this makes him over 200 times stronger than his first form, which again is backed up by feats, at least in the anime. In that continuity, the weakened suppressed attack from Frieza that destroyed Namek's core eventually triggered an explosion that momentarily dwarfs a galaxy. This explosion is multi-solar system level in power, and is particularly impressive for Frieza given that he tanked it while literally being a half-dead floating torso, and he originally caused it while holding back. In Z, Frieza would have one last hurrah when he would return stronger than ever as Mecha Frieza. At the absolute worst, he should be stronger than Namek Super Saiyan Goku with 150 million power level, as he was confident he would not lose in a rematch. In the anime, he could get even stronger, as he claims his supernova attack against Trunks is 10 times the power he used to destroy Namek. Now, this is kind of weird.
And boy, was he wrong, bro, because that nigga Goku pulled up on Trunks and sauced his ass up, bro, with the finger shit. I'm like, oh, hold on, Goku.
Because the attack used to destroy Namek was his suppressed power, and so it wasn't actually very strong. But he could be referring to the explosion that he caused when destroying Namek. If so, then this would be 10 times stronger than the original explosion, and still be multi-solar system level, because that's just how massive that tier of power is. Now, out of all of Frieza's ability, I think the two things that set him apart as a fighter, aside from the normal Dragon Ball kit, is his natural hardiness and his telekinesis. Besides the characters like Cell and Boo, who can literally come back from single cells in Ash, Frieza's ability to not die is insanely impressive. From somehow being alive with all of his organs hanging out, to taking a beatdown for hours on end by massively stronger beings in Dragon Ball Super, you gotta make sure you kill Frieza, or he might come back stronger than ever. Even death isn't enough to put him down forever. So, do other villains have what it takes? Let's jump right in. To begin, let's put First Form Frieza against his biggest copycat, Boros the Galactic Emperor from One Punch Man. This guy was the first real major threat in the story of One Punch Man, and was the first guy that made Saitama really try, at least a little bit in the story. He is clearly a Dragon Ball Z reference and inspired by Frieza, from his armory of different aliens, status as the strongest, and his multiple transformations that are actually limiters to his power. But how does he compare to the original? Now, in the actual story, Boros never does anything super impressive. The best thing we kind of see from him is kicking Saitama to the moon, and that the attack required to overpower his collapsing star roaring cannon split clouds across the planet. However, supplemental guides have given an array of statements for how strong this attack actually was. Manga guides state that this attack would have ruined the Earth but not destroy it, putting it at multi-continental level in power. Anime guides imply that Boros was strong enough to blow away planets with an unknown degree of his power, and that with the collapsing star roaring cannon, he could literally cause a star to collapse and destroy it. Boros also has incredible regenerative capabilities, able to come back from nothing but his eye and a bunch of guts, though he was only able to do this once. So, can the inspiration beat the original? Definitely not. Boros' absolute high-end attack potency scaling gets him to maybe the baseline level of first form Frieza. The biggest issue for him isn't going to be power though, with there being a gigantic gap in speed between the two of them. The best Boros is probably capable of is a couple times faster than the speed of light, based on feats and statements from characters that he is probably but really unprovably faster than. Meanwhile, by this point in Dragon Ball, characters have multiple different feats to get them to massive.
That nigga really did. I forgot a nigga did that shit.
Even just be upscaled from power levels to get
that nigga on top of his shit, bro.
If Frieza and Boros were the same level of strength, Frieza would just be eradicating him faster than he could even blink his.
Nah, hold on, Goku, get back up, bro.
Next, let's cover who are probably the most popular villains from the big three manga.
You goddamn right.
Madara and Aizen, starting with Blackbeard. Now, I've talked about this before, but for most characters in One Piece, due to the often vague inverse scaling most high tiers have, they all vaguely just exist in the same tier of power, around moon level based off of the feats from Gear 5 Luffy and Whitebeard. But Blackbeard is unique because it kind of has his own feats that we can use to highball the hell out of him due to his first devil fruit, the Yami Yami no Mi. In his fight against Ace, Blackbeard says that his darkness can absorb light and that it has infinite gravitation. Years later, guidebook statements from One Piece would describe his darkness as being similar to that of a black hole, but not literally a black hole. Still, if the dark hole technique is like a black hole, even though many of
now I gotta watch him. I gotta watch One Piece because I want to see him fight, bro.
Would be dwarf star level in power. Given that Blackbeard has gotten massively stronger,
look at that.
This technique would have also probably gotten
okay.
Still, though, again, this high end that specifically ignores that it's not literally a black hole still isn't comparable to the pinnacle of Frieza's power. Even calc stacking potential light speed statements for One Piece characters can never get you even close to Frieza's speed. That is superior to universe crossing spaceships. Meanwhile, Blackbeard still travels in a boat. So it's safe to say that Frieza takes this one with relative ease. Continuing on, let's talk about Madara from Naruto.
My nigga.
Again, we'll just highball him for the maximum level. Madara was able to fight against Naruto and Sasuke, and they ultimately never straight up defeated him, as he instead just became the vessel to reincarnate Kaguya. Now, ignoring the fact that Kaguya is just outright stated to have way more chakra, and therefore way more power than Madara, let's pretend it's 2018 again, and that Kaguya versus Madara is still somehow a debate. Thus, Madara would at best scale to Kaguya's power.
Yeah, niggas really was debating that shit too. It was just crazy. Like, bro, I get it. We fuck with Madara more. I understand. But like, come on, man. Kaguya is Kaguya, man, baby girl.
Power that can create and destroy her dimensions, which contain planets and stars within them, making him anywhere from large star to solar system level in power. Out of the three villains we've discussed so far, Madara is far and away the most diverse in capabilities. He is jutsu and sage arts of pretty much every elemental nature, can cast genjutsu on the population of entire planets, has regeneration, limbo cones, and truth-seeking orbs, just to name a few things in his bag. However, this is not enough to beat Frieza. One of the main established things about Madara specifically is that the best way to beat him is just by being faster and hitting harder than him, something Might Guy and Naruto both, at least temporarily, take advantage of to get the upper hand. In short, power supersedes hacks, and it just so happens that Frieza obviously still would dwarf Madara in power, even when scaling him to Kaguya's power, which isn't actually true. Realistically, Madara is more like a planet buster given his feats and various statements across Naruto guides. It's kind of why Nappa versus Madara is a much closer and more common debate than Madara versus Frieza. If you want to see why Madara's hacks don't really matter against Dragon Ball characters, go see my Madara versus Nappa video. Finally, let's talk about a character in a
my other
similar
nigga.
narrative narrative position to Madara.
My other Aizen.
Now, these two are frequently compared to one another as they are both master manipulators, users
oh yeah, they do have a death battle.
Seem like they might be the final villain of their series.
I wish it was, you know what I'm saying, 3D, but that'd been too crazy for them boys to animate, bro. All that bullshit these characters can do, that'd have been too much.
Only for a greater enemy to appear at the end and surpass them. But can Aizen succeed where Madara failed? Now, through the entire story and the various forms he obtains, Aizen remains as a relevant highest of high tiers throughout all of Bleach from a pure power perspective. Even before beginning to evolve with the Hogyoku, Aizen effortlessly takes down captain level characters and is inherently beyond all of the Espada. At his peak during his final battle with Ichigo and during the 1,000-Year Blood War, Aizen is just repeatedly and consistently portrayed as being essentially above
that nigga
whose name isn't Yuha or Ichigo. At a high end, this would put him over characters that can destroy the Soul Society realm, which some have calculated to dwarf star level in size, or put him above the likes of Squad Zero, who can shake potentially 3 universe-sized spaces in the anime, which would be a multi-solar system level feat. Of course, Aizen's main ability is his hypnosis, being able to control the 5 senses of those who see his Zanpakuto. He also has Hados and the Hogyoku, but again, his Zanpakuto remains his main, most relevant, and frequently used ability, as long as your name isn't Ichigo. Regardless, could he take down Frieza? Of everyone we've talked about today, Aizen definitely has the easiest to justify high-end arguments that puts him in the exact same tier as Namek Frieza, multi-solar system level. Of course, both of them have higher arguments. I'm well aware of Universal Bleach arguments, but they aren't stronger than Universal Frieza arguments. Again, in a consistent trend for today, it's really difficult to get Bleach fast enough to contend with the speed feats of Dragon Ball, even when disingenuously using Bankai and other forms as a 10 times speed multiplier every time. To get to the tens of trillions of times FTL speeds that Frieza is fighting at is nearly impossible. This also means that something like hypnosis wouldn't work. Frieza would be quite literally thinking and operating at speeds beyond Aizen's capacity to think, meaning he would literally not be able
muff
to
that nigga, bro.
illusions that Frieza could.
When he palmed that nigga, I was like, okay, Ichigo. He said, hey, bro, I ain't talking, bro. Put them hands up, bro.
Could potentially see. So, to maybe no one's surprise, Frieza stands nearly at the pinnacle of mainline anime villains, and he didn't even need to go golden. And yes, before anyone asks, he loses to Anti-Spiral. Okay, if you made it this far, thank you.
The fuck is Anti-Spiral? What the hell is that? Now I gotta go look that up. What the fuck is Anti-Spiral? Oh my god, hold on. C9. What the fuck is Anti-Spiral? What the hell is that? Movie character? From what? That a meme? Gurren Lagann? Oh yeah. After that death battle, I was like, oh yeah. That battle was crazy. Who he fought? It was a lantern. Yeah, it was a lantern. Oh my god, that shit was crazy. That was a W fight. Believe in me that believes in you, cuz. Oh god. Anti-Spiral. But I ain't watched Gurren Lagann in the grip, bro. I gotta watch that shit again. That ass. Wait, man, that's why Frieza the GOAT though. You feel me? He's still a whole ass nigga. That's why he the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? He the GOAT at being a whole ass nigga. Now you got Black Frieza, bro. That's what I'm saying. Bro, I want to see this in action, bro. Like, this is ridiculous. That shit came out years ago, man. And we don't have that shit in the game, an anime, a movie, none of that shit, bro. Like, I really hope when this shit ever does come back that they really think about this shit, like plan this out and think about where they want to take the story and these characters. You know what I'm saying? Since our GOAT is gone, but damn, man. Like, I'm tired of seeing, you know, cause like I feel like now Beast Gohan is like wearing out. You know what I'm saying? Superhero shit is starting to wear off for me. You feel me? Like, okay, Beast Gohan again, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like now they're milking it. You know, especially in the gacha games, those kind of legends, they're just milking the same shit, bro. Superhero shit, Broly shit. You know what I'm saying? With Gogeta, the blues, the fusions, it is just milking the shit every single time, bro. When they could milk some new shit. You know, so we got Moro, we got Granola, we got Black Frieza. Come on, Eagle Vegeta. You know, a new UI Goku with the Susanoo shit. Like, come on, Mirrors. Like, come on, bro. The Heaters. There's so many other characters, man. Like, come on. 7-3? That's a nigga name, right? 7-3? Yeah. Like, come on, bro. Come on, man. But anyway, I'm yapping. Thank you for watching. You guys enjoy this reaction, man. Hit the video up with a like, man. Comment down below and subscribe. Again, road to 3K. I subscribe, bro. Subscribe to freaking Lonk. Skateboard to 100,000. And let us know if you agree with this. I do. That's the ball Frieza, man. Freezy pop. Don't play with Frieza, bro. Or he will call you a monkey to your face. Matter of fact, he called the N-word too. And there's nothing you can say. Nothing you can do about it. I don't know if you can say that, Frieza. Don't care, nigga. And death be. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, love y'all. And I'll see you at the next one. Peace.